Hi there, how are you?
Thank you. You're a fourth grader.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Howdy, how are we? You're set to go.
Greetings from Shenandoah National Park.
We made it. National Park number 20. So we're here. This is our first day in the park. Of a few. How many days? We have like 4-ish?
Yeah.
So we chose today. It is very foggy, as you can see behind us. But it actually is kind of cool. You were driving Skyline Drive from Luray north through the park, and you kind of drive up and through the clouds and the fog, and every once in a while you get to a place above the clouds where you can kind of see the mountain peaks peeking out behind them, and that's kind of what we have here. So, but yeah, so we are excited. There's a lot to do here. It's a huge national park as well. However, we are here, what's the date today? March 27th, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, March 27th, and it seems like it's definitely still the off season here.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, and we talked to the
visitor centers are closed today.
We talked to the park ranger at the entrance booth, and he said both visitor centers were closed. There might be a park store open somewhere, essentially.
So tomorrow
we're
going to go to a visitor center.
Yeah, so we're kind of like, I knew we were going to be driving part of the Skyline Drive today, and that was what we were going to do, but I thought we'd be able to go to the visitor center and get the Park Junior Rangers books going, but that's not the case, so that's okay. We'll check that stuff off tomorrow. But yeah, so we're just kind of driving the drive today and checking out what the park has.
Yep.
Okay, we're back for day 2 at the park. Yesterday we just drove Skyline Drive north from our campsite, and it was pretty cloudy, pretty foggy. We saw some deer, that was cool. And we did a little hike that went from the visitor center, and I'll put the name of the visitor center here. And it was just a small little hike, 1.3 miles. That was something to do. I wouldn't say it was a must-do, but it's something to do. So we're back for day 2. We're going straight to the visitor center, Big Meadows Visitor Center. Is that what it's called?
The one in the south part.
South, yeah. I think it's more like central of the park, but south of where we're at. And we're gonna get the Junior Ranger books set up. Probably do the park movie. See what else they have to say there. And then we've got a couple hikes in mind today as well. But you can see it's a little cloudier today still, but the views are much better.
Yeah, you can see stuff.
Yeah. So.
The hikes that we're doing today are recommendations from our children.
Yeah.
So yesterday was one of my favorite days because, I don't know if you noticed this, at some point in the day, each kid was like, well, I was researching and here's what I learned about Shenandoah. Here's what we should do. Here's what I think. So like, they've been spending their own time on their computer, like,
well, Evelyn was on her phone, and the boys were looking at, like, we have national park books for like kids, and then other ones that they were looking through to get ideas of what to do. So yeah, so
I thought their suggestions were precious.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yep. So we'll take you along for day 2.
You know I love it. This is a statue to the 10,000 young men who served in the CCC at Shenandoah National Park. Okay, so this visitor center is telling us the story of how they decided to make a national park in the east, close to Washington, D.C., because all the national parks were in the west. And then it goes on to tell us how they had to relocate all of these people. I think these dots represent homes that Ben's got illuminated here. They had to relocate all these people so that they could turn it into a national park, which is a little bit of a sad story. And then the next part of the story is, of course, where FDR's Tree Army, the CCC, comes in to build the roads and the structures and all of that. Tell me, what's your idea?
To put this in the camera and then you guys can listen to it.
Okay, then the camera can listen to it?
I think so.
Okay, Ben's gonna push the button.
1,000 acres. But park promoters soon realized the impossibility
What are we
of
learning
buying that
about?
much land. A new boundary was proposed, reducing the park size to 300.
Thank you, Benjamin. Is this your favorite part of the visitor center? Evelyn picked this hike for us. Tell us about it.
This is Bear Fence Rock Scramble, or trail. And tomorrow we are going to hike Old Rag Mountain, which is the same type of trail, which is a rock scramble. So we are doing this one, which is a lot less miles. It is 1 mile, and it for practice.
Okay, sounds good, Ev. Do you see it, Ev? Are you getting excited?
Oh, it's muddy up here.
Oh, how muddy?
Muddy? I don't know.
1 to 10, how muddy?
Hidden Mickey?
I'm so excited.
Careful, don't fall on these rocks, they'll kill you.
I know. I can tell it.
You look very sharp.
It's either made a pain with him or
Hi.
they break their bones.
This is what we're scrambling over.
Off the beaten path. And sideways rocks.
Okay, we are almost 3/10 of a mile into our mile hike. How you feeling, Tim?
Great.
Going through the little part here.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Awesome.
It's really fun.
Yes.
I think we made it to the tip top over here. We just got to go a little bit further.
If you have kids that like climbing on rocks, then this would definitely be a good hike for them.
Yeah.
And like mile
Not like
hikes.
tiny kids, though.
Yeah. Mile hikes.
Okay, we made it to the top-ish, I think.
Top of Bear Fence Mountain?
Bear Fence Mountain, is that
I
what it's
don't
called?
know. We'll find
either.
out at the bottom.
But look at the views behind us. That's amazing. And then even back here, we're kind of at the peak, so we've got 360 views.
Oh, just so many little peaks.
You're not
Yeah.
actually.
Some
Pretty
people
great.
from Colorado would call them hills.
Yeah, they're foothills.
They're very pretty, nonetheless.
Yeah. It's a little windy, so I'm holding onto my hat.
Yeah, so
And my wife.
anyhow, it's a little nerve-wracking in the wind up here.
Okay, we just finished Bear Fence. What just beeped? Oh, your GPS.
GPSing.
Just finished Bear Fence Mountain Loop. That was awesome. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 5 stars, 10 stars, 100%. I don't know what you call it. A+.
We don't have a rating system.
We don't. We can start one.
It's late in the game, but we could.
That was so much fun. The kids had so much fun. It wasn't too long. It was just a mile. It took us just under an hour to do. The thing I liked about it, there was a lot of rock scrambling, which the kids loved. But at other parks where we've experienced rock scrambling opportunities, it's been on the edge of cliffs with, I don't know, 1,000-foot drops. This was not like that. And so it was a little more attainable.
If someone slips, they're not going to die.
Yeah, and so it was easier to do with a family, with kids. So I liked it. 10 out of 10, like I said. And
It was great. Wonderful. Good practice, like Evelyn said,
There you
for
go.
this crazy hike that they all wanted
Old
to do.
Rag. Yeah. But we're going to do another hike now. We just pulled into the parking lot.
Colin found it, so maybe he'll tell us about it.
Yeah, parking area. It's called Hawksbill Hike. Right?
Hawksbill Summit or Hawksbill Loop. Oh gosh, there's 2 options.
Yeah, so
I don't know, one of those.
Colin will tell us about it in a second.
I know that it's the highest point in the park, and in the book it says that you can challenge yourself to see multiple different types of hawks.
Okay, that's what you're looking for?
Hawks.
Got it. Let's do it. Did this hike kind of a long time ago. Okay, we're starting by a very steep ascent. It never looks steep in the picture. Very steep ascent. Not gonna lie. We've been at sea level for a long time. Oh.
You two are gonna do your miles and
We made it. To the summit. 700 feet of elevation, I think, in 0.8 of a mile. Highest point is Shenandoah National Park. It's rocky. It's windy. It's chilly. What does this say?
So is that there where I came from? You can see from?
Yeah, I think it's true.
Okay, we stopped very briefly at the summit because it was windy and we were real cold.
Very windy, very cold, but it's very high up.
Yes.
You got really good panoramic views. You got some of that video.
I did a little, yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't come through on the video though, so.
I know, yeah.
Take our word for it though.
It was lovely. Hey, what'd you think of your hike that you picked?
It was good, but the uphill, it felt hard at the beginning, but then I started to power through it. And then it was really fun.
Good. And how did you feel about being at the tallest point in Shenandoah?
Good. It
Okay.
was very cold up there.
So cold. All right, everyone else, what do we think?
It was very windy at the top.
Very windy at the top.
I like a challenging uphill hike, so I like that part of it. But
You like the other one was a 10.
if
This
it
one's
was warm, if it was warm and not so windy up there, we would have hung out there for a little bit longer. But
all right, done. What is this, Hawksbill?
let's go.
Check. Okay, we can see where we're going.
We didn't tell them what we're doing yet.
No, we didn't. We will. Oh, we will.
They'll find out. They'll definitely find out.
How you feeling, guys?
Good.
I'm nervous, but I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Same.
Good morning.
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 We got up early.
Not as early as we wanted to.
Never. We drove 45 minutes from the town of Luray to this parking lot for what?
A monster hike.
Yeah.
The family wants to do a monster hike in Shenandoah National Park. Are you guys, I feel like they're considering this the final exam of our whole journey, except that we just spent like 3 months sitting on the beach.
Fat and lazy on the beach.
So it's not really coming at the best time. Like, the boys outgrew their hiking shoes. We're in terrible shape.
We're doing it anyway.
Tim and the kids have gotten the idea to do a massive hike.
It's called Old Rag, and it's 9.5-ish miles. So.
It's 9.5-ish miles over what type of terrain? 2,000 feet, 2,300 elevation gain, right? Over what type of terrain?
Rocky. Rock scrambling.
Rock scrambling.
Bear fence was the training for this.
Yes. We have to do that 10 times and we'll be good. Okay, well, we're here. It's 9:30. We're going to get started and hopefully we're at the summit by lunchtime.
Oh.
That's the plan, at least.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Wish us luck.
Okay, Ben, what's our plan if we see a bear?
Do not surrender your food to a bear.
Okay.
And throw rocks at it.
Noise.
And
And stay together. We're not going to split up because there's a bear, because that would be a terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Scatter.
I was thinking.
I can only follow one of us, but
I was thinking Dad could do.
Tim would love to see a black bear on this hike
And then
that'd be so cool.
from really far away, I think.
What?
Okay, so right now we are not within the boundary of the national park, but we're going to hike into the national park. So first things first, we have to stop at this little station, little ranger station. You have to have paid for the park to go on this hike. So if you haven't, you have to do it. And then also everyone has to have a day use pass for the trail, which you get on recreation.gov, and you pay a $1 fee to hike today. So we all did that and we showed it to our ranger, and now we're on our way. Oh yeah, we reviewed the procedure for the bears, Tim. You weren't here.
Colin, you should probably lead the way. Otherwise we'll be here all day.
You should probably take off your hood so you can see where you're going. This is the 1 mile marker.
26 minutes in.
26 minutes. We are on this steep, kind of boring, well, not boring,
Oh,
steep climby part.
I like it.
How are we all doing?
Great.
Okay, doing a video check-in. This is very pretty up here.
Yeah. Pick the best day to do this.
Yeah, sunlight. Also, we're not hiking in a cloud.
Yep. Go first.
How's everyone doing back there?
Thumbs up. Okay, we have an update. We're 2 miles in. Another water break. First 2 miles, 1 hour on the dot.
Yeah.
So,
You thought the second one was slower, but they both thought 30 minutes.
the first one was 26 minutes,
Oh, okay.
so it was slower. But we're almost done with the straight uphill part, I think.
I think we don't really know, so that's why we're gonna figure out exactly where the scrambling starts and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't see any really like detailed info on that.
No, it seemed like it was about 2 and 2, so we'll see.
Okay, this is between mile 2.5 and 3. This is what it's looking like. 2.55. We went up a pretty steep, like, rock staircase. View, beautiful. And it's been pretty rocky ever since then. So that's where we're at.
Oh wait, what number is it?
Okay,
How far is it?
this is our first labeled rock. So I guess this is the beginning. I got 2.7 miles in, and we are squishing through this little space here. But we are officially to the rock scrambling. I think I'm gonna have to put this down and lift up some kids. Also, it is real windy. It's a wind advisory. You can see this is sort of how much farther we have to go up. I see some hikers up there. Let's see if I can zoom in on them in red. Way up there. So it's gonna be us. We're in a little bit of a line waiting to get through a section here. This is not the 3 mile update. We're at 2.8. Got kids here. Tim's back here helping some ladies get through this really weird part that we just did.
It was very scary.
That I don't have on
terrifying.
that I don't have on camera because
It was terrifying.
Oh, I'm gonna fit through here.
Oh, yeah, the trail goes to the right? We're like going through a cave. That's crazy. This is so cool.
I'd like you to get a picture of me carrying the rock that is obviously won't need to be
Okay.
held up by me.
Gotcha.
No, that rock is not being held up by a wall.
It's really cool. Get out your phone. What?
You shouldn't be shooting.
Hi.
Okay, we're at 3. This is our 3 mile update, but we're at 3.2. I should have done it when we were at 2.95 and I was recording, but we got through a whole narrow turkey section with a lot of people around us.
Yeah.
So now we're at 3.2.
We did it though. We're done. No,
We're not done.
there's still another like mile up.
Yeah.
How is that possible? There's no up.
I know. 12 summits.
False Summit. Looks like the top, but it's not. How much more up? Is there really another mile of up? Is that
There's
right?
another mile, yeah.
Okay. Still going up.
Up is
This
not
is-
true. It's like we're kind of at the top. We're just
Across.
climbing horizontal across rocks.
Mm-hmm. This is crazy.
I think we've reached mostly the elevation we're going to get to. It's just getting to the
Actual summit.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Oh yeah. Well, it sounds like That's it.
There might be a sign if we go to one.
Yeah.
This is pretty much it.
So windy. Okay, family.
What's the like iconic hiker photo? Like
I don't know. You made it. Okay, I was gonna set up the "We're at the summit of Old Rag" photo for us.
Okay, we made it to the summit, as you can see by the sign. 3291 feet. But that's only half the battle.
Can we
have
do the?
5.2 miles, you're in the way here. 5.2 miles to the parking lot.
Okay, so I would say we're tracking a little bit different on the
Yeah.
GPS, but I would say we reached the
Yeah.
summit at like 3.72.
Yeah, well it's just
Drive
3.8
It says 3.8.
on the other side, yeah. I'm at
Oh.
3.8.
Okay,
So
there you go.
3.8.
3.8 is the top.
I would say also things, excuse my pun here, things escalated quickly around 2.5 miles in terms of rock scrambling and ease of difficulty. We'll get more into that later when we get back to the truck.
So we'll see. Now we're going
We're
to.
going down the fire road, which is a gentle,
So we're going to see how long that is rocky for before it just turns into like road. I don't know. Could
well,
be
my
right
guess
here.
is 1.9 miles.
And oh yeah, and then we're gonna find a spot to have our lunch that's a little bit less crazy windy.
Yeah, that's the other thing, it's so windy. You can probably hear it, but it's crazy windy. It's a high wind warning day too, so we knew that.
So we find a lunch
Okay.
spot next.
Yeah,
We made it.
yeah.
Mile 4 update is we're eating our lunch. We went down just a little bit and Now we're having a snack. So far, this is what our path down to the fire road looks like.
More rock scrambling.
More rocks. Less difficult. Kind of painful.
Down is its own set challenge.
Yeah. It is a lot of big lowering, I don't know what to say, like big steps on the rocks. Hurts the knees, hurts the feet.
Okay, we're at the 5 mile point. It's been a steady decline for the last mile, but through rocks, and so it's been a little bit difficult to navigate. But we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yep.
That's all. Okay, we're still not to the actual fire road. This is what I envision it's going to look like. But at 5.4 miles, we changed to this kind of terrain, which is way less ankle twisty and treacherous. So we're liking it. Okay. To the fire road part. My watch is at 5.85, Evelyn. Okay, the kids are giving a 7 mile update. Evelyn, Colin, thoughts on 7 miles here?
We're at 7 miles. We're still on this fire road.
Yeah. And 2 miles to go.
Feet hurt.
Yes.
Feet hurt. Okay.
Bleeding.
Bleeding. I might feel like they're bleeding.
But no
Okay.
complaints from me.
No complaints? Good hike?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's the update from the Boring Fire Road. Okay, 8 mile update. On the board. So I thought we could go over the hiking options here. So number 1, you can hike the rock scramble up to the top.
Yep.
And then back down again. That seemed like a frustrating option because the people who were doing that were having to wait to try to go down because of all the traffic coming up. Right? That seemed like a frustrating option, though maybe fun, and maybe you'd want to do it. Second option, this is the one we're doing. Climb up the rock scramble, back down the fire road to the parking lot. The most common option. There is a third option that the internet kept presenting, which was if you walk up the fire road, you can see the same thing without having to do the rock scramble. Feel like that was grossly misrepresented.
I would never do that.
This would be if you did that option, that would still be an extremely strenuous hike.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the fire road isn't too bad. It's a gradual uphill, you can kind of tell.
With lots of rock.
When you get to about 2 miles to the top,
there's still 2 miles
it's still that 2 miles is like straight up. We were like going straight down. It would be straight up.
Climbing rocks. You're not shimmying through the rocks.
No, but you're climbing up.
On rocks.
Stepping up like knee height.
So steep.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't physically like maneuver the rock scramble. It's not bad. If you can't maneuver the rock scramble.
You shouldn't do this.
I mean, this would get you to the top without having to do that, but the internet made it sound like, oh, you can just walk up a fire road and then you get to the top and you see the same thing as everyone else. No.
No.
That would be very unpleasant, is my takeaway from being on this fire road.
I mean, it is a little easier, but it,
whole point of the hike
it is not
the rock scramble anyway.
Yeah, it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination to do that.
No.
Plus, it's longer that way. So.
Also, we're using the word road. We did see a car up there. I don't know how anyone is driving on this road.
Well, there was another road.
Anybody.
It kind of teed off. But, yeah. Okay, well, almost done. 1 more mile.
I have to talk and walk very carefully here. So this is the 9 mile update. It felt like when we got to the fire road, it felt like this was not going to be a 9.4 mile hike as we originally thought. It felt like it was going to be about 8.5. And we're walking down the hill, and then we got to this point where there was a dispute between the trail marker sign placed here by Shenandoah National Park and the All Trails app. Both said to turn off of the fire road. Evelyn's phone GPS and all of the other people who were walking with us went straight down the fire road. It was fenced off a little bit. I mean, none of them followed us. So we thought, according to Evelyn's GPS, that we would be done about 14 minutes ago. And we have, since we left the fire road, walked basically up and back, are walking now back down this tiny mountain. Oh, I see other people. Okay, that's fun. So I don't really know. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. There's a dispute between All Trails and just Google Maps, and it's gotten a little hard to keep up the enthusiasm through this. It was very steep uphill, and it felt like, okay, it's worth it if the parking lot is at the end, but now we're walking back down. So it feels like we just did this whole strenuous walk for no reason. So I don't know, we'll figure out who was right. Feeling at this moment like it wasn't us, I don't know. Whew. Well, that was a hike.
We did one of the most challenging hikes on the East Coast.
You going again?
I came to cross the bridge with you.
Okay. So finish line? There you go. 9.4 miles, 5 hours, 40 minutes. It was a long hike.
Okay, we made it back to the car, the truck. What did your watch say? 9.4, you showed that.
Where we were supposed to be.
Yep. The last
Full
mile.
disclosure, it was 9.39, and I walked an extra 100 to get to 9.4.
As any athlete would do.
Right.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 9.4. I felt like it was my fault that I got 9.39.
You somehow cut the course.
I did. So I didn't want to present false information to my friends.
Okay. The last mile was brutal. We felt like we were so close, and then all of a sudden there was another half mile uphill.
Mountain to climb over.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. It really knocked the wind out of everyone's sails.
I did do a 9 mile update, and I may have already explained
Okay.
kind of hard to keep up morale here.
Yeah, morale got low, but and Ben kept falling over himself. So here's the thing. This hike, should you do it with kids? Yes and no. It was fun. We had a lot of fun. I think we pushed the limits about what our family is capable of, both
Yeah.
physically and mentally. But we did it, and we're better because of it.
They really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
They saw a video. We were not like, should we do this hike? They saw a video.
They were like, we're doing
we
this.
want to do this hike.
Yeah.
You could not drag a child.
No, if they do,
didn't
if you
wanna
brought
do
a
this.
if you brought a kid who was like, I'm not a hiker, I don't want to do this, I'm not into it, it's gonna go bad for you.
So bad.
The other thing is, I'm 6'3", and I think it's almost a requirement if you're bringing kids to have someone who's tall to help in some of the areas for the little ones. We knew that going in. We watched a few videos about it, but actually seeing it in person was, I agree. I think that's true.
Being tall helps. Yes.
Yeah.
Like even if you're a small adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then The weather, this hike is very weather dependent. It was a sunny day today, which was great, and it was a good temperature, but that wind was really brutal in some areas and a little bit disorienting. And so you could come here and it'd be windy, you're gonna have a little bit tougher of time. You can come here and it's gonna be cold and wet. The nice thing about the trail though is even if it's hot, you're pretty much in the shade for 80% of it. And so unlike some of the other trails we've done out west where you're walking in the sun and you have to start at 6 a.m. so you beat the heat, I don't think that's just completely necessary here just because of all you're walking through the forest most of the time, so.
I thought of another thing that's nice about this trail. It didn't really matter that it's still winter here because the focus is the rocks.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a lot of times where you're like, if only it was green, or if only it was fall, because
yeah, the rock scramble is the highlight.
Rock scramble's the highlight.
Yeah. And the accomplishment of doing a 9.4 mile. I'm gonna round up to 10. A 10-mile hike with our family.
There's a lot of this hike though that's not the rock scramble. Kids one of the kids reminded me, like when I was like, maybe we shouldn't do this hike, guys, it's pretty hard. Like you said, kids like a hike that there's stuff to do and there's rocks to climb on. We did that hike yesterday.
What was that one called? Because I was going to bring that up again.
What was that one
called?
Bear Fence.
Bear Fence. 1.2?
Something like
that. 1.6.
So a lot of that was climbing rocks and there wasn't a lot of other stuff. And so it was great for kids. It was like the right amount of rock scrambling and challenge. That is a great hike that kids would love to do. And the scrambling was less strenuous than this was.
Yeah, this is pretty intense.
It's tough because the scramble has some tricky spots in it. And there's a lot of hike that's not that.
Yeah. Well, it was the worst part was the last mile. Everything else was fine. But it is strenuous. It was difficult. It was the hardest hike we've done on this trip I've ever done. So, but can you do it with kids? We did it.
We can do it.
Our kids can do it. Your kids have to have the right mindset to do it. Not everyone's kids are in that place at that moment in time. So. But
it was not like unsafe, really.
No.
Generally.
That's the other thing. That's the difference between some of the things we did out west. Is a lot of times we were doing rock scrambling out west. There's like a cliff on the side of you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really like that.
I climbed Angel's Landing with children, not my children. There were other children there, and like that is terrifying because you could just fall off the edge of that. Like this is not. So they weren't really unsafe, but you could get to a part where they are stuck and can't.
Then that's why you need.
And then you're like, okay, we're turning around. Like, yeah, that's why you need a tall person to basically
pull them through. So okay, well that's a wrap on. Well, actually, what do you give this hike? Rated out of 10.
I don't know, 7.
7, yeah, 7.5, somewhere in there. Kiddos, what do you give it?
8.
Everyone says 8.
I say 10.
Colin says 10. Okay.
I say 8.
And Ben says 8. So we're right around 7, 8-ish out of 10, which is pretty. I mean, it's still a pretty good hike. It's just. Yeah. It was all day.
Also, there aren't a lot of hikes like that. I don't know, they keep citing statistics to me about the most strenuous hike in the East Coast or the whatever. Like, there's not a lot of that out here, so I'm glad we did it.
For sure.
Ab wishes there was a t-shirt.
Yeah. She needs merch to tell people she did it. Otherwise, why do it?
Why do it if there's no t-shirt?
Yeah. Well, we'll try to find something.
I am now a junior ranger. I protect these parks from danger. I do not pick the plants. And I don't step on the ants. No animal will get my food. And I won't litter, that's just rude. Ranger's work is never done. But ranger life is always. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you all official Shenandoah National Park junior rangers. Congratulations, guys.
Okay, today is Saturday. It's our last day at Shenandoah National Park. We came back to the visitor center over here to get the kids' junior ranger badges. They did their work. They needed their prize.
Got a good badge.
No, it's a good badge. Anna, you want to show it?
Sure.
Okay, we'll show it in a second. And then we did a little hike from the visitor center. It's about 2.2 miles round trip from here, but there's a parking lot to cut it off to make it shorter, but we parked here because we have a dually and it's Saturday and the park is really busy. But the hike we did was, do you remember the name of it? She'll put the name down here.
I will.
And it was a waterfall hike, which was one of the things we wanted to do here at Shenandoah. And so that's what one of the things they're known for, is the waterfall hikes. And so we did it, and it was what they call a reverse hike, which we learned about at Grand Canyon. It's where you start at the top and then work your way down, and then you have to hike back up, which is always fun. But it was, like I said, about just like 2.2, 2.4, somewhere in there, round trip for us. Great waterfall at the end, though.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Beautiful.
Really nice.
People-y.
Yeah, there are a lot of people, narrow trail.
He
so
said this is the most popular hike in the park right now.
Yeah, because it's short and it's got a really good payoff.
Yeah.
But it is, I think it was like 500 feet of elevation gain in that mile.
I'm glad we went and saw it.
That was great. So that's probably almost a wrap on our Shenandoah
It really
trip.
is. We're just gonna go get our signed photo, and then we're out of here.
Yeah, this is a great,
On to
great
the next
park.
thing. Shenandoah. We will come back someday when it is spring, fall, something like that. When it's not winter still.